Florentino Pérez is going all in and preparing a sensational move for a Manchester City star. Barcelona have seriously targeted a Bayern defender and are ready to enter a major transfer battle. And Joshua Zirkzee is returning to Italy. The striker is already close to a new club, and it could be an unexpected twist in his career. We're covering all that and more in today's video. Guys, let's try and hit 350 thumbs up on this one. Your support helps us make even better content for you. Let's get right into the latest transfer gossip. The latest is that the Catalan Giants are seriously in for Bayern's Dayot Upamecano, and the timing is spot on. His contract is up in 2026, which means he could be a free agent soon, and we know how much Barca loves a freebie, especially when they're counting every penny. The best bit about this whole story is that Hansi Flick is the one pushing for it. The German gaffer has worked with Upamecano before at Bayern, and clearly rates him very highly. According to Fichajes, Flick is convinced the Frenchman will bring some solidity and experience to that Barca defense, which can be leaky as a sieve at times, and you can't ignore the situation with Ronald Araujo. Not long ago, he was the one player they'd never sell, but now he's on the market. Insiders are saying Barcelona are ready to listen to offers for him. Speaking of deals, I've got one for you lot. My regulars, no messing about, you hit subscribe and I'll keep the videos coming. Sounds like a proper win-win deal, unlike this Araujo situation. It really looks like the club is starting a defensive clear-out to fit Flick's plans. But listen, the race for Upamecano is going to be tough. Real Madrid and Liverpool are also sniffing around the French defender. And here's the problem for Barca. Upamecano wants big wages and a hefty signing-on bonus. When it comes to a bidding war with those two, Barca might just get blown out of the water, but Barca has an ace up their sleeve, Flick himself. As Fichajes says, the German has already worked with Upamecano and knows what he can do, which is something the other clubs don't have. The manager could be the deciding factor. Upamecano isn't some prospect. He's a top player, ready to go, who can fix that defense instantly. To get a player like that for free would be a class bit of business from the board, but they can't hang about. Bayern still want to get him to sign a new deal. If Barca actually sells Araujo and brings in Upamecano, the fans will be arguing about it for ages. Some will call it a betrayal, selling off a fan favorite, while others will say it's exactly what the team needs. Barca's made the first move in this defensive power play. Let's see what the others do now. This summer, Manchester United were shouting from the rooftops, Bruno Fernandes is not for sale. Even when Al Hilal rocked up with a £100 million bid, United said no. But now, just 3 months on, the tune has completely changed. According to the Manchester Evening News, the Saudis are coming back in January, and this time with an even juicier offer, a staggering £700,000 a week, tax-free. That's more than double what he's on now. And look, it's not just about the cash. Bruno looks more and more fed up. He feels he's being played all wrong. Instead of his usual number 10 role, where he's the creative spark, Ruben Amorim keeps stubbornly sticking him deeper in midfield. And what's happening? His impact on the game is fading, his killer passes are gone, and his energy is all over the place. The men quoted a source inside the club who nailed it. You can't keep demanding loyalty from a bloke who feels he's not being used right. That's the bottom line. Because Bruno isn't just some player. He's the skipper, the leader, the one who drags the team through the mud when things are bad. But if you make him play a different game, he's a shadow of himself. And there's another thing. Last summer, the same paper said Fernandes himself was ready to go if United decided it was time to cash in. So he's not kicking and screaming to get out, but he's not going to wreck his own career for some tactical experiment that's failing. So now the club's got a massive decision to make. Either they put Bruno back where he belongs, build the team around him, and show him he's the future. Or they sell him, pocket the £100 million plus, and pray that money doesn't get wasted on another transfer flop. Because if Bruno leaves, not because he wants to, but because the management couldn't figure out how to use him, that's not just losing a player, that's admitting the whole system is broken. And as Bruno apparently said through a source in the dressing room, if they still see me as the main man for the future, they need to show it. And show it with actions, not just words. Because without Bruno, United aren't just losing their creativity, they're losing their heart and soul. Joshua Zirkzee wants out of Old Trafford. Football Insider is saying the Dutch striker is properly fed up with his situation at Manchester United and wants to be gone in January. And by the looks of it, the club won't be putting up a fight. The problem's simple, he's just not getting a game. It's only gotten worse since Ruben Amorim came in. This season, Zirkzee's had a measly 82 minutes in 4 games. And this is the guy they signed in summer 2024 for big money from Bologna, where he was looking the business, meant to be a key part of the attack. But at United, it's all gone wrong. Just 7 goals in 53 games. No pace, no confidence, none of that swagger he had in Italy. Now, caught offside reports the Red Devils are ready to cut their losses for 35 to 40 million euros if they can find a buyer and get a replacement in. And there are already clubs sniffing around. Juventus and Como are on the scene. Juve have had their eye on Zirkzee for ages, and they've got a good reason to move now. Dusan Vlahovic is in his last contract year, and the talk of him leaving just won't die down. Someone's got to bang in the goals in Turin, eh? And Como is a really interesting shout. New to Serie A, but they've got big ambitions, splashing the cash in recent windows. Zirkzee is right up their street. Young, big name, but hasn't quite made it at the top. Maybe Italy is where he gets his mojo back. Sources say Zirkzee himself is pushing hard for a winter move. He's 24, an age where you can't be sat on the bench hoping the gaffer will suddenly spot you, especially at a club where the pressure is always on. Lads, don't just watch this without reacting. It's a massive help for the channel. Smash that like or dislike button right now, and chuck a comment down below. We'd appreciate it. Oh, and the United board is supposedly ready to give Amorim a blank check to rebuild the attack in January. So if Zirkzee's out, someone else is coming in. No more, let's hope he comes good. That tells you the club has given up on him. So yeah, Zirkzee's time in Manchester is pretty much over. He had his shot, it didn't pan out. Now it's either a fresh start in Italy or a slow slide down the ladder. For United fans, it's probably for the best. Better to get 35 to 40 million euros than hold on to a player who's not cutting it. And for Zirkzee, it's his last chance to prove he belongs at the top. The Manchester Derby is kicking off in the transfer market. According to Sport Bill's Christian Falk and Tobias Altscheffel, both Manchester clubs are after the same guy, 21-year-old Bayern powerhouse Alexander Pavlovic. It's an interesting one, this. You can totally see why they're both in for him. United and City are crying out for a midfielder who can run the show in the middle and just stop attacks dead. Pavlovic is exactly that type of player. The kid's getting stronger, his touch is on point, and he can break up play and start moves from deep. For the pace of the Premier League, he's perfect. But here's the kicker, Bayern are having none of it. Pavlovic has a long-term deal, and the word is, he's getting better and better physically, and he's really confident on the ball. A move is off the table for now, but he's one to watch for the Premier League down the line. The Germans hold all the cards with that contract, so the Manchester clubs will have to pay silly money to get Bayern to even pick up the phone. We're not talking 30 to 40 million. This will need a massive offer. A deal in January is a total pipe dream. Trying to sort a transfer like that mid-season while teams are fighting for titles and Bayern would never sell a key man is just not happening. If it's on, it'll be in the summer. Plus, the race to sign Pavlovic is going to be heated. You might even see Real Madrid get involved just for a bit of extra drama. For the player, a move to the Prem has got to be tempting. It's the biggest league, a place to become a global star overnight. So right now, it's just interest. But make no mistake, both Manchester clubs are seriously scouting this lad. Real Madrid are once again pursuing RODRI, and this time the interest appears to be serious. According to the Daily Star, the Spanish club is preparing a staggering £130 million offer for the Manchester City midfielder. Xabi Alonso evidently views RODRI as a major boost for his side. The fact that the 29-year-old Spaniard missed the last match against Monaco with an injury doesn't seem to deter Real. The publication claims Madrid are planning an audacious swoop for the City star and could entice Pep Guardiola with a £130 million bid for the midfield maestro. However, City are not planning to part with their pivotal player. They have a strategy. Chairman Khaldoon Al-Mubarak is resolute in his desire to keep RODRI and intends to initiate contract negotiations to ward off Real Madrid's advances. The Daily Star suggests the Manchester club would be willing to offer him a substantial salary increase. Which brings me to my own negotiation. For those of you who watch consistently but haven't subscribed, my proposal is this. You click the subscribe button, and I will continue to produce these videos without a pay increase. It seems to be the best deal available. Please subscribe. Rodri's contract is valid until 2027, but a persistent fear remains that the player could agree to the Madrid move. There are grounds for this concern. Last year, Rodri frankly stated, "When Real Madrid, the best club in history, gives you a call, it's something to be proud of. You always must listen." That's obvious. An intriguing element is that the transfer would have an extra edge, given Rodri's past with Real's fierce rivals, Atletico. The midfielder has made 271 appearances for City since 2019, contributing to 11 trophy wins, the Champions League among them. For the club, he is truly indispensable. A £130 million fee would set a new sales record for City. The question remains, are they prepared to lose their midfield anchor for such a sum, or will they secure his future with a new contract? We will be monitoring the situation